Today we're diving deep into a technique that will help you stop forgetting what you read. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Lovecraftian Psychology channel. If you're new here, we explore the shadows of the mind, the terror of the unknown, and the ancient wisdom that helps us navigate this terrifying reality. If you find value in these reflections, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, drop a like, and join the discussion in the comments below. We're reaching more and more seekers, and your feedback, especially your suggestions, is invaluable. So, if you have a topic you want me to explore, let me know. The central, haunting question everyone asks me is, what do I do to stop forgetting what I've just read? I've touched upon this before, but today, we're getting surgical. Is it a magic spell? A mystical ritual? A spiritual awakening? No. It's a technique designed to put your gray matter, your very inner sanctum, to work. Deliberate reconstruction. What is it? It is the conscious, painful act of forcing your brain to function. When you practice passive, superficial reading, all you're doing is flipping pages, hoping to reach the finish line as fast as possible. The information you consume doesn't have the time to settle into your mind as durable knowledge. This is the chronic affliction of our time. We read at the same breakneck speed we scroll through a social media feed. We expect a 5-second hook to grab our attention and a 10-minute skim to transform our lives. Reading is an abyss, more complex than that. The reason you forget what you read is simple. You haven't given your brain the time or the conditions to assimilate that information, to reprocess it within the architecture of your mind. Deliberate reconstruction is about actively rebuilding the internal logic of the text and understanding its essence. We are transforming passive consumption into active engagement, a form of deep reading where your mind doesn't just receive, it dialogues, it thinks, it struggles. This practice is rooted in what neuroscientists call the retrieval effect. The very act of reconstructing something from memory strengthens the learning, solidifying it as acquired knowledge. Think about memorizing a sequence. You repeat it until it becomes second nature. It's the same with reading. You don't need to write a full summary. Sometimes, after reading just one page, you pause and ask simple, brutal questions. What did I just read? What is the core meaning? What is the author's main intent? How does this connect to my own life? These questions, asked with the appropriate pauses, force your brain to process the data. The problem with our modern minds is the need for speed, the addiction to rapid-fire visuals. The world of deep reading is a different dimension. It's slower, more gradual, but as you read, you are simultaneously remembering, reconstructing. The issue of forgetting a passage the moment you turn the page is that you didn't allow for the data to process. It's like downloading a massive file, but clicking away before the progress bar hits 100%. The file is incomplete, corrupted. You can't build anything of substance with a half-downloaded file. Give the file time to fully download. This is the most effective way to remember. The great thinker, Mortimer Adler, said, "You must be able to state a concise summary of the entire book in a few sentences. Until you can do this, you have not finished reading it." The reading doesn't end on the final page. It ends when you can succinctly explain the book's essence. Take a massive tome. Start small, a single page. How would you organize that page into a single powerful sentence? A chapter, 2 or 3 lines. This is the core of what we call summarizing, actively engaging your brain so that the words you read become your own way of expression. You've truly understood something when you can summarize it without needing to look at the original text. The action plan. Here are the steps to put deliberate reconstruction into practice. Step 1. The focused read. Read a passage, a paragraph, a chapter. But read with attention. Make your highlights, your annotations. Be present. Step 2. Close the book and construct. Once you finish a segment, close the book. Ask yourself, what is the essential idea I just read? If it's a narrative, who are the characters in the scene? For example, while reading Dostoevsky's The Idiot, the sheer number of characters demands a pause to organize. Who is this character? How are they related to the person who said this? Organize the schema in your mind. Step 3. Verify and adjust. Open the book again and check the original. Do the ideas you constructed in your mind align with the text? If they do, you are on the right path to permanent memory. You might say, but that's a lot of work. Yes, it is. But when it transforms into a habit, an organic process, you won't even realize you're doing it. Trust me. Try it once, twice. Don't quit. Reading is not a push-button experience. It requires discipline, effort, solitude, and slowness. Don't race through the text. Reading slowly allows you to think better and puts you miles ahead of the superficial reader. We are trapped in a superficial world. What cures this, among other things, is a healthy dose of deep reading. This is what it means. When I say you'll never forget, I mean you won't have that experience of reading a passage and completely forgetting it 30 minutes later. You might forget it a year from now. That's human limitation. But by training your brain this way, you will effectively retain the information. The brain. As a leaky bucket and the Japanese secret. Now, let's confront a deeper, more Lovecraftian horror. Your brain is a leaky bucket. You spend hours pouring in information, studying, dedicating yourself, only to wake up the next day and realize 70% of it has simply drained away. Frustrating, isn't it? The good news, it's not your fault. Your brain is programmed to be ruthless, to discard anything it deems useless. But here's the game changer. In Japan, students memorize over 2,000 complex characters, the Kanji, and remember them for life. They don't have super brains. They have a method, a secret your teacher never bothered to share. The reason you forget isn't a lack of effort. You're fighting with the wrong tools. Rereading, highlighting entire paragraphs. These give you a false sense of progress. To your brain, it's just background noise, as relevant as an Instagram ad you ignore. Be honest, how many times have you pulled an all-nighter highlighting a textbook only to suffer total mental blackout during the test? This is not a personal failure, it's neuroscience. There is a silent villain called the forgetting curve. Its mission is to destroy everything you study. In 24 hours, it dumps most of it in the trash. In 3 days, only crumbs remain. But what if you could hack this system? Japanese students have been doing it for centuries. They don't study harder, they study smarter. I've distilled hundreds of pages of science for you. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 5 hacks they use to master learning without spending their entire lives glued to books. The 5 samurai hacks. Hack 1. Active recall, the Samurai Mind Academy. Most of us focus on putting information in, reading, watching, highlighting. But the secret to an iron memory lies in the exact opposite, pulling it out. Think of your brain as a muscle. Every time you force yourself to retrieve a piece of information, the neural connections get thicker, stronger. That struggle to remember something is not a sign of failure. It's the memory muscle being built. The application is brutally simple. After studying, close the book, take a blank sheet of paper, and simply vomit onto the page everything you can recall. It will hurt at first, yes, but that pain transforms fragile knowledge into permanent wisdom. The common student decorates, the Japanese student cultivates. Hack 2. The Kumon method, breaking the monster into tiny pieces. Staring at a 500-page book is like trying to fight a giant monster. We freeze. The Kumon method is the secret weapon against this paralysis. Instead of attacking the monster all at once, you break it into tiny, manageable pieces. The logic is to reinforce concepts in daily doses, one small step at a time, until the knowledge becomes automatic, like breathing. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, calls this marginal gains. A 1% improvement per day yields an absurd result in the long run. The Kumon method applies this to your brain. You master a little bit each day, instead of trying to swallow everything at once and drowning. The result? Long-term memory and zero burnout. Hack 3. Spaced repetition. Strategic brain gardening. Imagine every new piece of information is a plant in your mental garden. If you water it too much all at once, it drowns. If you don't water it, it dies. Spaced repetition is your smart gardener, watering the plant just before it starts to wilt. Instead of cramming everything the night before a test, you space out your reviews intelligently. 24 hours later, 72 hours, 1 week, 1 month. Each review refreshes the memory and makes it more resilient to the forgetting curve. The secret is to act just before the villain attacks. Hack 4. Kaizen, the 1% secret weapon. Instead of relying on bursts of motivation and all-nighters, the Japanese use the principle of Kaizen, continuous, relentless improvement through ridiculously small steps. A 1% improvement per day makes you 37 times better in a year. This means the end of stress and burnout. It's consistent mastery. And the best part? You can apply this with just 6 minutes a day. Seriously. 2 minutes of active recall. Retrieve what you learned yesterday. 2 minutes of spaced repetition. Review what you saw last week. 2 minutes of focused practice. Learn something new. 6 minutes. No excuses. Hack 5. The ritual of absolute focus. Mastering a subject isn't just about technique. It's about mindset. In Japan, they practice a state of deep focus where the world disappears and only the task matters. To activate this monk mode, they use rituals. Rituals are a form of mental baptism, signaling to your brain that it's time for action. Want to turbocharge your focus? Create a ritual. It can be anything. Have a sacred place just for studying. Always use the same instrumental playlist. Light a candle or use the same specific pen. By transforming study into a ritual, your brain learns to label that moment as important, and your concentration and retention skyrocket. Conclusion: the choice, as always, is yours. Think about the last time you got really good at something, a sport, a video game. You didn't just read the manual, you practiced, failed, adjusted, and repeated. True learning works exactly like this. It doesn't have to be torture. It has to be smart. So the decision is, continue to be a hostage of the forgetting curve, or start wielding these ancient methods. The 1% don't just watch a video like this and move on. They act. The question is, will you? Pick one of these hacks, just one, and apply it tomorrow. Then, come back here and let me know which one you chose. Don't forget to follow and share our channel for more strategies to master your mind and face the abyss. Until the next video, keep turning your fragile knowledge into permanent wisdom.